Welcome again. Poleni sana. So there are a number of resources that I like to use. One, there is this free pick. Probably you guys have met this site, but then it's like one of the best resources that has vector graphics. So for you could also get a template. Let me close here. You could also get a template that speaks that tells you, hey, wait, you can use this rather than build something from scratch, which helps with your design process. There is also I think Saddam here really knows the pieces that he uses, infographics. So infographics are used for data. We have Felix there who's like really, really super interested with posters and events, brochures. Also for systems, I think which Hubbard does a lot. So you can get mockups. Let's say a mockup for Android. You know, I mean, when you search that, as long as you know the keywords, you can get it and you can see these are different. And ideally, I would filter them to free because I don't have a premium account, and then vectors because I like working with vectors a lot. So you see, once you have this, I can see it's two resources. So rather than that, you can probably say UX. UX is a way of defining your prototypes for systems. We'll get into this later. I was just showing you an example. You can also come back here and say infographics. We'll also create some infographics later. But then, as a way to sort out your problem, very quick, you can get vectors, which are free, and then the infographics here. And I think this one really looks good. Anyway, it will depend on which type of design you're doing. If it's a company report, you will probably say infographics here, but then with graphs for places where you have to do graphs for historical timelines, for mission, vision, objectives, and whatever. I think we've seen a number of designs that have been done with this. And then you can also have posters, different. So posters, we have UC. And I wouldn't say that you get them as much. For me, I like this. I would really pick it, but then especially for this design here for the clip art, and then for this and this, then the rest I can design them myself because a number of times designing this pattern is usually a mess. So, but you can still I create them a number of times. But if it's chap chap, just to sort out someone, you get it from here. Then yeah, different posters. So as you can see, it's a very good resource. We used to have flat icon, but this one. So they used to give people free icons. Now you can only download them as a PNG. Let's say, for example, you come here and you say that you want Facebook. Mm, Facebook. You you can get an icon. You see the disaster comes in. This was free, if you can remember last time. We clicked and we got something, but now you have to buy. So the problem is that with this, a number of times you want to change the layout. That you have a dark gradient, and it makes no sense to mix black and blue. Black has always blended well with white. If you don't want to make mistakes, you go that way. Or let's say, for example, let me just come to my home screen. You can see the icon there, which is the logo. Now my logo, this color is this, but I had to switch this to white so that we could have this more or less. It's a bit bright there on the screen because it's a shared screen, but more or less this. So we have a site that I found later on. It's called svgrepo.com, which has the SVGs. And now the good thing I will show you now is that, let's say that you want to search, and I think this is probably going to be free for the rest of the life because it's a repository of free SVGs. So let's see. It's called svgrepo.com. So let's say, for example, we want to search Facebook. So when you search Facebook, you can see the icon that we had gotten here, this. We can get it here. It's this one. So what I do is that I download the SVG file, and then very quick, let's just create a dummy post, mobile. So probably we want an iPhone preset of, yeah, this, create. So the next thing is that, see, when we put, probably, if you guys can remember, this was the color swatch, and anytime we draw a shape or use a text tool, whatever is on the top palette becomes the color for that shape or text, and then it will have a stroke of black. This is mainly for a shape. It won't pick that for text. So you can see our shape has a black stroke. The stroke is the outline margin, and then it's white. You can't see white here. Let me just draw another one, and probably arrange this to go to the back. So send to back. So we have this rectangle that we wanted to see if it's white. So what I'll do is that I'll swap the colors here for the back rectangle, and you can see it's black because it's the top color, and then the stroke is white. It's here, the white. It's only that I think you can't see it because it's a bit of a small one, but when you zoom in, you get it. And then we have this is white, the initial one that we had drawn. Anyway, what I wanted to show you was not about this, but then about this. So when I open it, let me just open it at the downloads. So I open it here. It's here. So what I'll do is that I'll come select it. It has selected the icon, and drag it, drop it here. Okay, there's a bit of a development that is going on with Illustrator. Otherwise, you would have seen the Nini move, the icon. But I know because once it's switched, you can see it has switched, the top part. So once it switches, you drag and drop, but it would be showing us the icon. I mean, it would have opened this page. That I think is a technical hitch. So what I wanted to show you is that now most of the people will mask their icons using a shape. Masking is that it will only occupy that shape. And for here, I can see two layers. Or let's open the layer screen. Remember that this is Essential Classic Profile, so you'll get these tools here. And some more I've added, like the Align tool, which you can get it from the window. We'll explore this menu sometime. What we have here is that it's this, but you can see it's two layers. I could guess because it's a shape here, and then we have the white part, which is the F. So what you do, yes. So what you do is that I want to change the outer blue to white because it also looks really off from there. It's there, but then now let me just go back. I want to pick the color code for the blue because I want now the F to be blue, or we can put it to black. So it's this color code. So I control copy. It's already selected. So copy, cancel. Then what I'll do is that I select it, or you can use the direct select tool, which is this arrow here. So it means that anytime you click, it will only select the item that you're on top of. It won't select the whole group. Otherwise, like this, when you come here, it will select the whole thing. You can see more or less the switch. So this, I'll change it to white, and then this to blue, to the blue. So I will paste the color, and then there. So you can see it looks more appealing, more or less. If you want to stretch yourself a bit further, you can put a black color. By the way, no one, not even Facebook, will demand that you use their blue color. Sorry, this should have been black. Is that at times it's your design. So Even if you are using a trademarked logo, more or less is that you are the one designing. Companies have different colors. You'll find others people are putting green on Facebook, but Facebook doesn't look green. It's only that if their main color like Safaricom, you wouldn't expect them to have a blue there. It beats. I mean, Safaricom will use blue. No, not blue, but green and red. Like 20 to QK. You guys are probably seeing the posters. So they have a poster, I mean, like an icon down there, which is green in color. And if you can remember, is that for any image that you have on this world, let's say, for example, we want this is one of the posters that, or let me just pick this image. So I'll drag it and drop it on our frame here, but then let me just minimize it. And you can feel free to ask me any question.
Okay, then to minimize this image without like
Distorting it. Mhm. Okay. So for you to minimize it, you can use two keys. One, you use Shift combined with Control, and let's try it because there is one Shift and Control. No, actually, it's not Shift and Control. It's Shift alone, which makes sure you can see when I press Shift and even move anywhere, it will try to follow the cursor all the way to the end, and it has not distorted the image. But if I press Shift and Alt, is that the image will surround this part. Sorry, we are digressing, but I think more or less you when you go and open the tool, you'll want to see what that is. So Shift and Alt, it will try and expand things from here, from the middle point where we have the intersection. You can see. So Shift and Alt, you have that. But when I use Shift alone, is that it will be the opposite axis. So if I want to expand this and I press Shift and then press this axis, is that it will use this as a pivotal point. We've seen if you use Shift and Alt, this middle part here will be the pivot.
yeah.
So it will expand that way. But if I use this, now this will be the pivot on this other side. Here it will use the lower axis as the pivot. Let's see, Shift, you can see it. So it's the middle part. The middle part is constant here, Shift. If I use this, is a Shift will use the opposite.
Yeah.
Shift will also use the opposite there. More or less, that's how you try and expand it and yeah, minimize it. So I think those were the resources that I wanted to share with you before we do what we had planned today. But you might be wondering, where do you get images from? You know, so we have three sites: pixels.com. Please, you have to be careful. Yeah, just search your images here if you don't want to meet other images that probably you are not okay with. I mean, yeah, at times you'll find that they have some nasty images. We have an unsplash. These I like it. I mean, they have actually even they have a very good algorithm of sorting out the images. These are all free images that you can use on commercial projects without any qualms whatsoever. No one will come to ask you, I mean, hey, I mean, you have to pay license. And then there's StockSnap. StockSnap, this is also good. So free stock photos and images. Yeah, you can always attribute people if you want to. If you don't want to, we leave it. So I don't know. You guys can give me a challenge. What you guys want us to design today, trying to finish up the topic on typography. You can remember the last class was about type, type meaning text. So playing with that because we realize that we have four classes of fonts, if we can put it. There is sans serif, which has been used by Google. It's like It's like a playful font for anything that is not for anything that is not official. We have serif, like Times New Roman. You guys have probably done projects and you've written your document in Times New Roman. The font has to be 12 pt. I don't know if you guys never ever asked your teachers what pt means. It's point. It's 12 point. It's a measurement on the screen. Then we also have script, which is like handwritten calligraphy, or what people call calligraphy. There is monospace, like the old font that people are using in the computers and the typewriters. And then, yeah, I think those are the four that I remember. Yes, and so I was trying to look at it this way. What makes your font visible? What makes your font attractive? Because we've seen a number of posters so far. Let me just, for the sake of Saddam, let's see. I've We've done two posters so far. So there's this poster which was more or less trying to explain the the schematics and how Illustrator works. So we saw that, okay, if you want to brand anything with Illustrator, you go to the site, you go to the profiles on social media and see which fonts are these people using, which colors are they using. And we realized for Mercedes, they have this crimson red of some sort, and they also use serif font. We tried, this was Georgia, which is not really far from their font, but then their font, I think, is a custom made. Then we tried the next one. This was just a poster telling people how to read without you making, without you using any image. And you can see somehow the font is standing out, you can see it. So let's say, for example, we want to tell people that, hey, Google is launching this product. They have probably pixels. And what do you guys think would be like the custom, let's say, custom poster for them to sell the product? For starters, the poster need to have a price, or maybe actually a heading. A heading, and we saw that the heading, ideally you can use 60 pixels, the size. It should be heavy or light, depending on the text that follows it. Because you might have a heading and then a subheading, which if you use the subheading as a bold font, but then like half the weight of that font, then you have to use the other one twice, the main heading twice, but then a light font. So rather than use bold, you use regular, and yeah. And then also the fonts have a weight from 100 to 900. So that's like any font that you buy or you download, you end up having 18 TFFs, which is True Type Font, TTF, or OTF, Open Type Font. I asked you guys what OTF and TTF means. I hope you guys know. Anyway, that is also something. And then I had actually forgotten about the fonts. You can get them from Google Fonts. Most of these are free, or and here you'll have different categories. There are five, so you can see at times you select whichever you want, and then it's easier for you to get. Or this font looks like Beats by Dre. Anyway, I don't know, but let me. So that's how you download the font, and then when you open it, you you double click it and you install it. Probably your machine will ask for admin rights for those, and then we have these others. So I install it, I install it, I install it, I install it. Okay, nope, I think it's there. Okay, what we can try, actually, come to think about it, we can make a poster of Beats by Dre. I'm trying to think about how to show you the fonts and how to balance it. So let's go to the website of Beats by Dre, So there's actually, sorry, before we go there, we have fonts.google.com, and then we also have free fonts. When you search that, you'll get 101 fonts, the font. All these are free. Font Squirrel, I think, and these they are here. They are saying free fonts, legit, free, and quality. I think that's more or less about marketing. And then so and then yeah, I think you can get fonts from any of the sites when you search free fonts. So let's go back to Beats by Dre. Today we are going to use an image, and then we are going to try and summarize about the fonts to see how to master it. So let's say Beats by Dre. Let me open it. We'll also download the logo from them, or we come to here and then we search Beats and see if they have a logo, which is let's see. We might be shocked that they have it. Okay, Dre. I'm trying to search as the minimal using. Okay, if now they don't have, let me just go to straight to yeah. Let me just type the whole name Beats by Dre. Oh, sorry. So Beats here. We have the logo more or less. So let me just download it. Here we have it. If I open it, I think yeah, it ends up opening on the browser. I don't know why. So let me just come to downloads and then yeah, open it at least just for so that we'll use it. It's there. So Control 0 fits your artboard on the screen. So that way, so that you can see. It started, I mean, it was really far off. I think the dimensions are a bit small. It's 24 pixels by 24. That's very minute. But then you see the good thing with an SVG is that anytime that you try to expand it or minimize it, it doesn't get distorted. So when I come here, I'm trying to probably, I just want like a statement and one product that they're selling. So anyway, I think it was more where they have people. Anyway, who knows the name of the wireless ones that people use in the gym? Anyway, okay. No, anyway, video studio. I think we might be marketing these guys. So let me just get one. Okay, probably we can say this. Let me just copy this text, control copy, open a new notepad, paste. We'll use that just to tell people about what's happening. And then we get a photo. Let me say here that I'm looking for a photo in the gym of someone with earphones. Mhm. Anyway, so anyway, let me get this. I no, okay, or let me gym earphones. Anyway, earphones, but some are too dark. And you must have noticed also is that most of the guys in the okay. So anyway, I don't know which ones to get. Or I mean, next time I think I'll come with the images ready. Yeah? I think we search too much. Okay, this one is a good one. It's not a okay original size. Let me download it. It's a bit bright, but I was looking for a dark photo from the gym, which is easier. I mean, because I've noticed Beats by Dre use black and red. So there's that mixture. And then if you remember, when I inspect the web browser, this is a bit of IT, but you'll need it because if you're going to crawl web pages and probably get color codes from these people, is that you need the right color from them. So, wow, this has a hover effect which is causing problems. You can't find. Okay. So what we'll do is that we'll try, I think it's probably selected something here. So anyway, or we can get one of the red colors from,
Use the color pick. Is it color pick or color?
yes, color pick. Or let's see, because and then they have a playful font, but also a serious one. So probably here we'll use Poppins, but in uppercase. So let me see if we get a poster that is okay. I think this is okay. So inspect. At least here there is no problem. So the color code is E31 A37. So what I normally do is that for my poster here, let me use a landscape. So for the poster is that I'll come select a rectangle tool, put it that way, and then give it the color code. It was E31 8
831, 837.
837 or 897. Let's see. No, that is okay. So 837. Yes, it's the red color. So and then you'll use this drop to select it when the time comes for you to get the font, to get the color on top of the font. So I'll come back here, drag my image. I think we downloaded it. Yeah. So when I drag and drop it here, we use a similar mechanism, and first I align it vertically, middle, horizontally, middle, and then vertically, middle. So there, and then I use Shift and Alt to make sure that this image fits. Now you can notice that the width, I can guess the width will snap faster on the edges before the length, before this. So what I'll do is that because I want it to fit, you can see there's a red line that is coming. Yeah. It's because it's reached the point. So that's why you stop and then have it that way. Otherwise, if you continue to have the length fit, which is that red line that you guys can see there, that it will have a white edge, which is not really interesting. So you drag, you make sure it has snapped, Control 0 to fit it in, but then I'll minimize because I still want the red color. And then remember from the first class that we did is that we used some gradient. Now I'm going to darken the image some bit. Some bit because I need my text to stand out. And this has been a technique I think that I first saw being used by Spotify. Those guys are really dynamic with their posters. I mean, wow, you see a poster and then you're like, man, I need to listen to music from that place. Anyway, I think that's the feeling that I have. So we have this, and then you drag and drop it. The rectangle fits, but we won't have. So you can ask a question, if or you tell me if I'm going fast. So we have that. The red, it's a bit strange there. It looks like pink, but anyway, from my screen it's red. The screen, I think it's a bit. It has a lot of colors. So what I'll do is that I'll come to this panel and select this. It's gradient. You can see if you hover on, it tells you that that is the gradient tool.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if it's mine.
Uh-huh.
The version that I'm using, I don't have this, but
Yes.
this side that you're having,
Uh-huh.
I don't have it.
Okay, maybe I will try and troubleshoot it, but I was saying that mostly I think it comes as essential here. So what you do is that you select to essential classics and then you have that maybe. So, but I'll go now here to this point and select that, but I don't want it to be. It will have white. So what I want is I come here, select and change it to RGB, which is easier to find the color code. And then pick this black. On the other part, I'll also choose a black, but then with some bit of a red, not red as such, but then, well, I think there's something that went amiss here. Okay, let me just say it's easier. Using this site also for called colors, if you remember it well, colors.com, it has double O. So what we'll do is that, okay, this is interesting. It could be colors.co, but ish. Okay, so it's here colors.co. Sorry. So it will generate some colors for us, but I want a black, but then a black with also a tint of. So generate, when you choose generate, or you can also come here and say explore. And when you say explore, you can search. It will give you at least a search box, so you can search black, and then it will give you a palette with the different variations of black. And I think this is the best. You can see directly. So I'll choose this and this for the bright and dark. So what I'll do is that I'll save, no, sorry, is that I'll come to export. I export but as an ASE, that is an Adobe color swatch. So it's this one, but then it's going to open at least. Okay, it has gone to Photoshop. So what I'll do is that let me just come here and then no, and then import. So other, it will give us a place. So we go to downloads. It's this that one. So it has exported them here. So what I'll do is that I'll drag that, close this, and then go back to my swatch here, and then not to my swatch but to my rectangle, and then use this to select the color, and then also this to select our color. You can see it's changed. Anyway, there was a bit of some change. It's not that prominent, but then I want a 90-degree up down type of approach, or left right, which could be 60. No, it could be 45, 30. That could work actually, I think. But then let me use now 30 so that we can have the dark color on the lower side and then the brighter color on that other side. And then what I do is that, sorry. What I do is that I come, select that, and reduce the opacity to, no, actually this other side, we reduce the opacity to around 10, 30. I think that's okay, more or less. If you guys like it, we continue. If you don't like it, we can still. Okay, Felix has said it's okay.
How did it?
Oh, how did it swatch?
Yeah.
Okay, so
What is swatching?
swatching, it's like swap. Oh, it's swapping. Sorry, swatch is that it's this swatching. Swatch, sorry, swatch is this. I've remembered swatch means to sleep. Yeah. So, but then here we have this. Now, let me just undo it and then we go back. Let's say, okay. But so far, you guys have understood how we have the gradient. You can see that there's the brighter, the darker. Actually, what I will want to do is that let me try and have negative 60. Okay, yeah, 60. 60 is okay. So what you do is that when I come and click this, first you make sure that you've selected it, then you click the gradient tool. It's selected here. So it shows you that this is the bright here, and then this is the dark, this one. So what I want is for the bright side to have an opacity. An opacity means transparent to full color. So from 0 that is like clear, transparent, to 100, which is like it's now filled with a color. So when you select the bright color, when you put 30, you can see it's become clear. This is a bit darker, so that's why we have this lining here, which is a bit dark. More or less, that's okay. Cindy. Okay, and then something that you always have to take care of is that most of the logos, some will always say that you put the logo on the bottom right. I told you that when people read the posters, they read it from the left side top to the right bottom side. So the logo has to be like repetitive. It's reminding people, hey, but this product is for these people. Or it depends with the orientation, because I feel my poster will be heavy on the left side because we have the person there. So like when you open that poster, the first thing to see is the person with the headphone, with the earphones, probably communicating something. It's a bit of a tint here, but then anyway, I like it that way because it will make my text stand out. So the next thing that I'll do is that I'll come back to my notepad and select this. Now, control copy, and then I come here, I select the tool, I select a rectangle. You remember when you draw that rectangle, it means that your text will be confined in that, and it's easier for you to scale up and down either way. So when I paste it, the text is a bit dark. You won't see it here. So what I do is that I'll increase first the size to where we are comfortable with, probably until it fills the place. And you can see which tool I've used. This when you can also select character, but it will be a repetition of this menu. So the font size is here, it's 100. Then you remember I said that we'll use Poppins for this text. So Poppins is one of the free fonts that you can find on Google. It's here, a very good font, but then I want to use bold because bold is a bit, yeah, it's a bit good. I like it. Let me also increase the size. I don't feel comfortable with what we had before. So it's there, Beats Studio Buds. Iko sawa so far.
Let me ask you.
Uh-huh.
So when you're designing for different companies,
Yeah.
see, they usually have their own size, like the heading size that is branding guideline.
They might have it, they will share it with you. Other times they leave it open. So you can try and experiment and whichever. Yes. So I hope I've answered you.
Yeah.
Yes, but normally I'll use 60 if the font is a bit big. And you can see our text, our poster will have only that, the liner, the headliner, and the logo. And that's it. So which simplifies our work.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to have beats in red color. So I will select it and then color it and have it that way. But then for these other texts, because we have a dark background, is that I love it in white. So I put white, which is like the top left corner color. Bit Studio, Control 0. Let me just fit it in to see what we are doing. Yes, I think up to there. And then I come back here, select this, Control copy, and then now we can use Comforter, if you remember. So Control V. That one I've selected. I've clicked so that we put it because I'll reduce it to the least size. You see the other one where I had to draw a text rectangle is that it was supposed to fill the whole thing without an overflow. But then this one I'll try and reduce it to the least that I want. At least normally what I do is that if the text is too long and it might end up disappearing, I think 40 is okay. So what I do is that also alignment of the text is very important. I mean, you don't have text that is flowing here and it's also going beyond this. So you can see this is perfectly aligned with our text here. It was a miracle that I used 40. I don't know if we would have 40. And here probably we'll change the color to white because it's a mixture. They try and play with red and white. And let's see. What do you guys think? Or we change the text? It's bold, eh? So what you do is that we can have regular, and then let's try the comforter font that I installed, and then see what comes. So true wireless noise cancelling earphones. More or less. More or less we're getting there. Then what I'll take is that I'll get the logo, drag, drop it here, and normally, okay, let me also press shift, expand it. It's a bit big. So what I'll do is that I'll have it down here at the bottom. But then we also have to tell people that this is Beats by Dre. So red is making it a bit hard for us to see the logo. Or you guys can see it clearly. Okay, we can still go with that or change it to white. Change it possibly to white. You see, you can also select colors with this. But then the funny thing is that you never get a text color. Like I can't select this and say I want that text color for this, because see what happens is that it takes the formatting of the text also. So it changes that to that. So but for a shape you can select that. So very quick, let me just write here Beats by Dre. Beats by Dre. Does it have space? I don't think so anyway. So and then comforter. So yeah, change it to bold. Okay, that's interesting. It never picked it. Okay, I think the font is probably locked. So Beats by Dre. Ish. This is interesting. Okay, let me just see what is causing the issue. But more or less, you guys are getting the gist now of the text. Next week, I think we'll go straight into a bit of the tools now, so that you guys can understand what each tool does and how amazing. I mean, you can design good work with this, because also people use the application to make PDFs. You guys have seen company profiles, reports. So at least with that, then after masking, we can commit ourselves now to one project, I think, and then yeah, still go on building on that. Let's see. I don't know where the comforter font is. Some usually come licensed, so they disappear from anyway. Comforter. Okay, it's saying this is a variable. So let's try this and see if it's going to pick the color. Oh yeah, it's picked. Yeah, I guess because of that variable there. Anyway, so we reduce the text to somewhere like 70, at least to have the text very much uh, in line, especially the height and the width. I normally do that. Then when I press shift, is that it will expand the font for me. So at least I know that, wait, that this font is going to be similar, of a similar height with the logo. So what I do is that, let me just press shift, move this, sorry, Ish. So move this, and then at least I move this. But then you can see it's a bit bigger. So what I do is that I'll try and reduce it once more. We don't have really to have it, because otherwise it imbalances everything. So probably 30, and then we try and align it to selection. So when you select the two and you want to align them, you select align to section, Then I want them to be vertically aligned. No, it's horizontally. Anyway, so that at least, yeah, across they're okay. Like the text is in the middle. Then have these two white. Okay, I don't want to select and have my text formatted. Okay, and then the red. Wow, some people must be looking for me. Anyway, the red. Okay, this text to red at least, and then let's see how our logo looks like. So you can see more or less it's not anyway really far from what the guys have. I put it to that point, and then this was a sale. If you remember, so let's say it's going to be 14.00 dollars. Have these into poppins. The color for the heading, so bold. Try and have it at 40. Then possibly have a color. Have it colored to red, and that's it. Okay, it's a bit off. So what I'll do is that I'll try and have it in a white box so that it stands out. So what I do is that I come here, make sure that my box will be okay there. Uh, how you can push your top shape to a back layer is that you use control and then the box braces, the box brackets. It has gone back, but then I'll have to change it to white so that we see if if it's really moved back to the text. Yeah, so that's it. And then very quick, we align it middle. But then anyway, you can see there's a mismatch because the top part looks, it's as if it's disappearing. So this now you can just nudge it with your arrow key, east, and then that's it, I think. What do you guys think? It's simple, at least because, yeah, most of the people you'll notice that they will always try something simple, but then that speaks because, after all, as much as we have a complicated design, is that people want to read what you're trying to tell them. And here you see someone with an earphone, I mean, with a pair of earphones, and then straight you know that this is a sale, or probably they're trying to tell you that these are the equipments that we have. Later on, we'll go on adjusting the posters and adding shapes, patterns. You've probably noticed from where we went to free pick, we had those dots. Now, what do those dots simplify? At times, we might have some huge white space. So, how do you make sure that your poster doesn't look really out of place and not balanced? Here, say for example, we have this outline of this guy, just like I did about this. So suppose this guy was this without the background of the place. So now that's when you choose a color and then probably have some shapes behind them. But we'll explore that. So more or less that wraps up the first part of typography and what makes the text really stand out. Other times you'll see a poster with text that looks like it's glowing, like from a futuristic point of view. Others it's a color like gold, it's a gold leaf. Those are color effects, and we look at them when we approach now the places of making gradients and swatches. The swatch, the color swatch, yeah. Yes, yes, that's not a color swap. Swap is changing, like yeah, coming here and clicking this, so that swaps the color. It's even there. So when you highlight, actually over the tools, you'll see this is a zoom tool. So when you want to zoom, you see. So anyway, let me select. I think Alt alternates. Like Alt will zoom out. So then we have, this is for the artboard. In case you want to increase the size of your board, because let's say, for example, we want to export this uh, to be shared on our website. If you remember well, we say that save for web exports it for you. Okay, okay, so it's there. So, and you can see it by fitting on screen to see what will appear when you export. So save. Then let me just come here to our, so it's project, and then possibly poster 2, poster 3. Yeah. So have it save, and then
So was that saving or exporting?
it's exporting, which is similar to saving. So when you come now here and then go to your local disk project, at least you have it here. And then you can see this is an ad. And we have people who are getting paid for this just to design that, because what they do now is that they get this and then post it on their site, probably somewhere like here. So it depends on the different designs that they want done. Other times you'll have, sorry, other times you'll have a design, okay, you'll take a photo like this, but then how do you adjust it to, other times you'll also make someone wear an earphone that he did not have, then you wonder, I mean. So it's always playing with the scene. We'll probably go there, but then I think when necessity demands it. So at times, yeah, you just get this, and that's why I was saying that we have a lot of tools here to help us with that. Like, okay, this is a shape builder. We also have a masking tool, which now makes sure, or you can even brand earphones that someone else is wearing, and say that, hey, Bana, these are Beats by Herbert. Anyway, it will depend on how you approach it. So I don't know if you guys have any questions, any queries about the whole session, or yeah. So I leave it at that point.
I
I
think
know it's
this.
too much to absorb, but then I think maybe from today we now start carrying an assignment, and seeing if you guys are getting, yeah, probably are getting the gist of it all. Also, how well you can play with the font, because suppose you're designing a booklet or a pamphlet for Hemingways. Let's say, for example, because that's a hotel that I know they use serif font. But then you use serif font probably for the heading, and then sans serif for the body. Or you swap it the other way. Poppins as the heading, and then you have sans serif as the serif font, like Georgia, as the body text. Okay, you guys are quiet. It's as if I've confused you. I hope I'm not. So let me just show you very quick. I have to get back here again. You can ask any question. I am going to do this as a speed test. So hotel, let me get this. So let's say, for example, we want to make a text for, not a text, but anyway, yeah. For example, this. Let me just drag it here, drop it here, align it. So text, take this, align to artboard, that, and then let me just put it all the way to the place, and then very quick, let's say is visit Hemingways, and then let's say we use Georgia, visit Hemingways, very quick, let's say, okay, increase the font size to 80. Okay, by now I just try and guess uh, how the text will be, and then very quick is that now I'll draw a text box which has all this text, but then I reduce the text to, okay, to around 60. It will be a bit big. Paragraph, I won't hyphenate it, but then I'll try and justify it, and then I select these two pop-ins. What I just wanted to show you is this issue of text and how to go about it, because at times you find that, yeah, you're trying to understand how this guy did it, and you're trying, you won't see it here because it's all white. No, it's all black. So let me just do this. So and then reduce this text. It looks okay. So here you'll probably have to use an overlay of something, an under color, because even if you use white, we also have very bright colors. You can see
Yeah.
it's a bit, yeah, you can't really figure out what this guy was saying, or else you move it to that point, and there the text somehow seems visible. Then you have this as the what I wanted to show you was the interplay of the two. So you can choose this. This probably you've seen it very famous with the newspapers. We have the guys in the newspapers who use it a lot. So you see, more or less, you can figure out what this guy was saying. Is it Hemingway's, and then the text is there, or probably I'll show you how to use the blur tool. You can blur the image and but that you have I normally try and use, okay, there's even blur here, Gaussian blur, which blurs the image. You if you choose preview, it will blur it that way. Then you can try and make it as visible but still not clear as possible. So that your text, what I was saying is that your text has to be read
Yeah.
as much as possible. So yeah, let me just summarize with that. uh, Okay, let's say apply another new effect. So I just still want to have a bit of some blur here. Okay, so that you can still see and say that you can notice what is under the image. I mean, what is under the text, because it's clear. You can see there's a person there, but then the text is also very much uh, readable. So that's it, man. I finish it at that point. Any questions? Sorry, guys. Next time we start at 10. I think that was a plan, eh? So 10 to 11, and then we close it. It's only, yeah, I'm not